Beppo Mongol. How many remember the Mongols from way back when? Well, I applaud you for your astute knowledge. He was part of the team, and Guido was the other individual, and they won the WWF International Tag Team titles from Victor Rivera and Tony Marino on June 15, 1970. And then the titles were unified with the World Tag Team titles, and unfortunately it was not to be for Nikolai as Beppo Mongol and his partner, as they lost the belts to Crazy Luke Graham and Tarzan Tyler. Then after that period of time, Nikolai became Nikolai Volkoff. He went on to individual success, and in 1974, I'm sure Mel, you can remember this, he gave Bruno Sammartino a run for his money. Never got the brass ring, aka the WWF Heavyweight Championship, but he certainly came close. Then Nikolai left us. He was an AWA and Mid-South run was in his cards, but it seemed at that point that the WWF was going to be his home away from home. And so here he came back in 1984. What an opportune time for Nikolai to be involved as the world of wrestling was making some serious evolutions. The Rock and Wrestling Connection was absolutely a calling card for Nikolai. And he wound up to team with none other than the Iron Sheik. How many people have tried their career to imitate Iron Sheik? How many? I can't believe it. You too, sir. Very good. Just a sidebar, Sheik is one of the most lovable personalities. He's, he's had his ups and downs, but he knows how to do it sideways too. So he teamed up with the Iron Sheik. And as I said, to Rock and Wrestling Connection, it happened. They were one of the most entertaining tag teams. And of course, March 31st, 1985 was a big day for both of those individuals, along with their manager, Classy Freddie Blassie, Nikolai Volkoff and the Iron Sheik, and the very first WrestleMania became the WWF Tag Team Champions, defeating Barry Windham and Mike Rotundo. And then Nikolai's career continued at WrestleMania 2. He went against Corporal Kirshner. Trivia time, folks. What kind of a match was that? You guys are good. It was a flag match, absolutely. And then he went into another tag team called the Bolsheviks. And who was his partner? Mel, you didn't want to do trivia tonight. I'm doing it for free, okay? But then the tides turned again. In 1990, Nikolai became a fan favorite. And then, of course, he went against the dastardly Sergeant Slaughter and the more even dastardly Colonel Mustafa in 1991. Nikolai joined the $1 Million Corporation in 1994. And then things kind of just subsided. And Nikolai went into the sunset from a standpoint of his WWF career. Some of the things that I remember personally about Nikolai, I don't know how many of you people remember Tuesday Night Titans, but the thing that stuck up about Nikolai Volkoff was that awfully looking red suit that he wore. Do you guys remember that? The pinstripe red suit? He wore it every time he was on. We asked him what a dry cleaner was. He said, I have no idea. So he kept wearing it and wearing it. And then he was an accomplished cook on the road. He and Sheik traveled. Sheik would be traveling together. And Sheik would say, Nikolai, make me my food, please, goddammit, I have to eat. And Nikolai was an accomplished cook on the road. He carried a hot plate with him, if you didn't know. And then all of Nikolai's accolades came to fruition because in 2005, he was entered into the WWE Hall of Fame along with the Iron Sheik, which is an accomplishment, of course. Today, Nikolai is employed, he has a job, he's involved in the code enforcement in Baltimore County, Maryland. So the long and illustrious career of Nikolai Volkoff is still going. He still, ladies and gentlemen, occasionally puts on the tights. Not to see how he looks. He does step into the ring once in a while. And that, I think, is amazing for a man who's had such an illustrious career. So, ladies and gentlemen, if I may digress, I would like to steal a page from the announcing playbook of Howard Finkel. And I'm going to do this with a few little twists. Ladies and gentlemen, At this time, I, Howard Finkel, ask you all to please rise and respect the induction into the New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, class of 2013, of Nikolai Volkoff.
Howard Finkel was a good friend, and I'm glad he's here because I used to watch him when I was a little kid.
Well, thank God I found out what Just for Men was all about.
He supports everything about me that I could say is one of the biggest thing ever happened in my life is to come to the United States because I escaped from communist country and I come here and I was very happy. My wife is from here. I have 2 kids. I've been married now 43 years. Thank God I never did any drugs. That's the reason I'm 66 years old, I still wrestle, I still feel good, I actually feel better now than 20 years ago. And I want to tell you, thank you very much for everything, especially your wrestling fans. Without you, we have no wrestling. God bless.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I ask that you please rise and respect Nikolai Volkoff singing of the Russian national anthem.
Союзне душевних, рабоблих, свободних, надидла на веки, великая год. Да здравствует сводный и волый народ, единый могучий Советский Союз. Слава Отечеству наше свободное, дружный народом и дружный оплот. Победы, победы.